Back to the another session of hacking. Today we will discuss about the 5 basic things which is very much required nowadays for hacking. What are those 5 things? As we have already discussed, that ethical hacking is the science of testing computers and network for security vulnerabilities. Many have confusion that hacking means bad activity, stealing some data. It is not so. That's why there are various different kinds of hackers are there. Ethical hackers are the good people who protect a system. Of course, they find the weakness into the system. I mean the vulnerabilities and other network areas where attacker can attack. That's why ethical hackers are hired by a company to protect their network from bad hackers. So it can be said in other way that it is identifying weakness in computer systems, or you can say computer networks, so that you can countermeasure and protect those weaknesses. So the intent of ethical hacking. What is the intent of ethical hacking? We must know first, because it is not about just learning ethical hacking. We must have a proper intent. So it is to discover vulnerability. Vulnerability means weakness. What is your weakness? If I find your weakness, I can attack in those areas. Similarly, in computer network, is to discover vulnerability from a malicious attacker to better secure systems. Once I find myself that my computer is not protected in those areas, then it will be very much helpful for me. It will be very much beneficial for me to protect myself from those malicious attackers. Even after finding those vulnerability in future, chances are there attackers may attack, but still initial checking if I do through some ethical hackers, if I don't have any hacker I have to hire, then it can make your security system stronger and better, and your data will be highly secured. It is for ongoing security improvements. So there is another definition of ethical hacking. Ethical hacking is also known as penetration testing, intrusion testing, red teaming. So if you have heard someone, any professional who is a penetration tester, so on the other side he is also ethical hacker. Why? Because ethical hacking, their main responsibility is to do the penetration testing. What are the area where the virus can penetrate through the system? For example, in your body, what are the areas? Through ears, through your nose, through your foods. Similarly, network also, software, hardware, other technologies are there. Your router, through which the attacker can attack, through VPN. Many technologies are there. So that's why penetration testing is another definition of ethical hacking. Intrusion testing, IPS and IDS, intrusion prevention system, intrusion detection system. Once you detect the virus, then how you prevent that? So this comes under intrusion. This again comes under firewall checking, firewall security, advanced firewall, cloud firewall. So many things are there. Last is red teaming. So now red teaming we will discuss in the upcoming classes, because it itself is another big topic. Every top subject has a different category: penetration testing, intrusion testing, and red teaming. Next, we have to discuss about social engineering attack or social engineering circle. This is very much important nowadays. What is social engineering? Like I have discussed in my last classes, in few last classes, or in mostly in lots of classes of ethical hacking, the social engineering is a way of manipulating the psychology of a user to reveal the confidential information like user ID and password, so that they can use those for bad purposes. Social engineering means why it is social: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Maybe some hacker or some attacker is on the other end, for us we don't know. Maybe he is pretending to be your friend, but actually he is not friend. He will first do friendship with you. How? Suppose you are a businessman of any kind of fixed domain. He will say, I am also from that domain. Then you will reveal, okay, from which branch. Suddenly they just know how to manipulate the psychology so that you can trust them. So initial phase is not about hacking. Initially is to manipulate the psychology. At the end they will attack through the data. So we can protect ourselves from social engineering. So social engineering is defined as the exploitation. So it is defined as the exploitation of trusting nature of human beings. Everybody know the meaning of exploitation. Okay, so once you trust someone, then you can easily exploit that. How? You can gain some information for your bad purposes. In computer world or in network security world, we use this term as malicious purposes, malicious intent. So social engineering cycle is what? Gather information, plan attack, acquire tools, again attack, then knowledge. Now this hacking term is coming again and again. Who are the hackers? A hacker is a person who finds and exploits the weakness in computer system and networks to gain access. So you must remember this definition in your exam, or whoever is asking you this question, anybody can ask. A hacker is a person who finds and exploits the weakness in computer systems or networks to gain access. So hackers are problem solvers. They extract the problem and sorting out a solution. So they are not always a problem solver. Unless they are ethical hackers, they are not problem solvers. So you must remember this. So actually they are problem solvers. When there is some big problem, money stolen, then hackers are the problem solvers. Who are those? Ethical hackers. An ethical hacking is a security professional who applies their hacking skills for defensive purpose on behalf of the owners of information system. So I think it's very crystal clear. Next, how hackers beget ethical hackers. The real meaning is what actually hackers do and what ethical hackers do. Here in this slide we will discuss that. So hacker is a word that has two meaning. First, hacker is a someone who likes to tamper with software or electronic systems. Of course, I think it is clear. Hacker is someone who likes to tamper with software or electronic systems. Tamper means the data what you are giving, hackers will manipulate the data, modify the data, and then they will give it to you. Then you will not find the real data what you are supposed to get from a receiver or from the sender. So hacker is someone who likes to tamper, or they can input some kind of information in your electronic devices like hard disks. So hackers enjoy exploring and learning how computer systems operate. In fact, they have the complete control of the system or any server. So hackers enjoy this, that they feel that you are the software developer, you are just a part of a system, but hackers, they have the complete control of any system, how they are manipulating you. Maybe you are a software developer, they are sending you a virus, and you perhaps don't know that your system has a virus that can completely destroy the code, destroy the hard work what you have done. So that is the problem actually. Once the control comes to the hackers, they can do anything with your system. So that's why this is a very demanding career also. Being an ethical hacker, of course, I know nobody will want to become a bad hacker, I mean black hat. The objective must be to stop those black hackers. Or you can do something that you can create a system, you can give some knowledge about how black hat is not good for the organization by giving some practical demonstration that how black hat hackers do the work and how you should be protected. In this way you think you can do a professional rather than being a black hat hacker. Hacker is taken on a new meaning, someone who maliciously breaks into systems for personal gain. So someone who maliciously breaks into a system for their own benefit, this is the work of a bad hacker. Technically these criminals are actually known as crackers. They are the crackers actually, or you can say criminal hackers. So crackers break into a systems with malicious intent. I think one of the classes I have already made presentation about the hackers or criminal crackers. You can search in the search bar of this channel and you can find it. Ethical hacking versus auditing. This is another important thing. So what is ethical hacking versus auditing? It involves comparing a company's security policy, Security audits are usually based on checklist. Every company has an audit policy that your antivirus, your hardware, your complete system setup is up to date or not, and that is validated and confirmed by the security audit professionals, and those professionals are actually directly linked with this hacking or system security purposes. So it is not about just ethical hacking. You must have proper security policies in your organization, especially on checklist part. In many cases it might not be very technical, it's just the documentation part. It varies from organization to organization. But for big organization, they have a technical as well as documentation both. The intent of security auditing is to validate that security controls exist. Okay. The intent of security auditing is to validate security controls exist. So we have a hacker with us right now. I think we will give his experience in some upcoming classes, that how a real life hacker works in industry, what are the various roles. Maybe we will discuss that in some other classes. Today we will cover this. So rules which must be abided by ethical hackers. What are the rules which must be abided by ethical hackers? First is get written permission from the owner before hacking. Being an ethical hacker, that means you are a legal employee. Legally you are working for an organization to protect the security, so you must have some written permission. You can't get access to the company's security, especially network security or other security policies which are based on software and hardware. You can't directly get into that system. Before that, you must have a written permission from the owner that yes, I am going to intervene with your organization security to check whether it is highly secured or not. So it is get written permission from the owner. Second is protect the privacy of the organization. You have to protect the privacy of the organization. Third is transparently report. 4. Inform hardware and software vendors of the identified weakness. It is very important point and vital point. Once you see that in organization there are some areas where the attackers can really attack, whether it is the software or hardware, you must inform these weaknesses to the relevant professional of that organization, maybe the software department, hardware department, so that accordingly you can take steps or along with your organization to improve those weaknesses and to make the system safeguard from the outside attackers. So classification of hackers. Hackers can be classified into various categories. First is ethical hacker, who is the white hat hacker. Second is cracker, they are also known as black hat hacker. Third is grey hat. Grey hat actually the combination of both ethical and black hat both. Suppose somebody is doing sometimes white hat activity, sometimes black hat activity. So this mixture of both are known as grey hat. Now it depends on the situation. Somebody who is working as a white hat, maybe he is in his free time he is doing black hat activities also. So this kind of people you can say grey hat. I think you are getting some idea. Then script kiddies, they are also indirectly linked with hacking. They are actually non-skilled person. They are actually non-skilled person who gain access using already made tools. It is not that you must be highly qualified to become a hacker. There must have proper scripting technology which you can manipulate, because scripting is something which is used in any web technology, whether you are doing PHP, ASP. If you have some knowledge on scripting, sometimes you don't have any proper degree, you are non-skilled person, but you can easily gain access to a website using some already available tools. Like few years back somebody stolen money from ATM just using a 1200 rupees device, schemer kind of thing. So this technology has some advantage along with disadvantage both. But script kiddies are not highly talented people, they have some knowledge, but anyhow they can be used for hacking also. 5 is hacktivist. Hacktivist, if any in your exam this question comes, who is a hacktivist? This is very important question. One who hacks for social purpose, or you can say who hacks by sending social, religious and political messages. Nowadays you find that some of the great organizations are hacked, especially the government website, who directly they are not facing any kind of losses, but they are getting messages from other organization that you have to stop this activity, or some other country that you have to stop this rebellious activity, or stop this, stop that. Many kind of agendas are there. It can be good and bad, both. Sometimes it can be for good purposes, sometimes it can be for bad purposes. It depends on the person, or depends on the social causes. So you can say this activist is actually for social changing some causes that time hackers do, so that mass people and mass, especially the powerful people, they get the message that we should stop this thing. Last is Flickr. Flickr is, we will discuss in some upcoming classes. Now, how to become a qualified ethical hacker? This is the important point that we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.